Let's talk about chords and how music theory helped me with chords. Well, if you're going to talk about that, you're going to talk about chord progressions. When I first started to learn music, learn guitar, learn songs, it all seemed kind of random. It said, play this chord, play this chord, play this chord. And I'd do it and they would sound good. I had no idea why they would sound good. As you learn more songs, you start to see the same things from songs to songs. Oh, okay. That A chord going back to the D chord, it sounds good in this song and in these other songs. You start to see patterns. That makes you think there must be a reason for this. It's not just random picking chords and see if they work together. This is where learning about the diatonic system helps. Numbering these notes in the scale. 1 being the strongest note, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 is when you start over. Giving each of those notes a number really starts to make things take shape. You can build a chord off of each of those numbers. In fact, you've probably seen those written as Roman numerals. You'll see Roman numeral 1 and then a Roman numeral like lowercase 6, VI, right? Well, why is that one lowercase and why is this one uppercase? Well, diatonic numbering takes these same ideas and takes the key out of it, takes the song out of it, and it just deals with the structure and the relationships between those chords. And then you can take these ideas that you've learned that sound good in a certain song, you can take those to other songs in different keys. So you've got the Roman numerals. A lot of us have used the Nashville numbering system, which is just basically the same thing. And that's taking these chords. Nashville number system is when you know a lot of different songs, but you have different singers, or you want to play them in different keys. And it's an easy way to go between one key and the next key with your chords. It's very simple to write them down. Another way that music theory has helped me with my chords and understanding chords in popular music is something called voice leading. So when I first started learning my bar chords, you'd have, let's do this in G. You could take chords out of the diatonic scale, diatonic chords, and write songs with them. So I might play G, B minor, C, E minor, back to D, something like that. I was hopping all over the place. I might play this G and then go way up here to the B. Those notes, this group of notes here and this group of notes here are very distant, very far away. That's a certain sound. It's a rock kind of sound because people do that a lot. They jump around a little bit. But I would hear some players who had really sweet sounding chord movement. I didn't know how to get that until I learned about voice leading. So let's take a C major chord and an F major chord in a million songs, right? Well, once I learned what the notes in the C major chord, C, E, G, and then for this one, C and E, the doubles there. And then F, the F major chord is F, A, and C. If you think about it, they share a C together, C major and F. What's next? So in C major, we also have an E and a G. So the C is shared. The E is not in the F chord, F triad, but it's right next to an F. So E going to F. There's a sound going from C major to F of upward movement. This voice of this first chord, E, is moving up, leading into the strong note of F. E goes to F, right? Now let's look at the other note, G. Well, we're going to go from the G. The only other chord left in F is A. So that G note is going to go up a whole step to A. So we have a melody inside the chords, a melody that has upward movement in the scale of C major in this key. So C, when I understood that, I started, hey, I can make chords anywhere on the guitar. I don't have to jump around like I was doing in rock music. I can find chords that are maybe 1 or 2 frets away for each of the strong notes. And I'm going to have something that's really, really listenable, has a lot of melody inside the chord movement. Another way that I got better at chords just by learning a little bit of music theory was understanding the difference between triads and seventh chords. They sound different. When I heard Long Train Running, or I heard Thrill Is Gone, and I knew in Thrill Is Gone, I knew that was a minor sound. I could tell it has the strings in the background. I could tell it was minor. But when I tried to play it with my, in that case, B minor triad, I sounded very blocky. I was missing some complexity to these chords. It was not tons of complexity, but it sounded different. So understanding that a seventh chord has 4 notes in it and a triad has 3 notes in it, it was like adding a ton of colors to my palette that I could use for writing chords and for playing over chords. Triads, first, the third, and the fifth. We're bouncing over each note in the scale. First, third, fifth. Well, the only difference between a C major triad and a C major seventh, you'll go first, third, fifth, seventh. You're just bouncing over one more note in there. You've got 4 notes that all are going different places. They're leading into other chords 4 different ways instead of 3 different ways. It's a lot of color to those chords. That may not be the sound that you're looking for. Triads are perfectly fine. I play triads every day in every song. They're the building blocks of most of the songs that we really enjoy, but they're not everything. And then I would hear these other chords. Well, what were they? And then when I got a hold of those sounds of seventh chords, I thought I had it all, until there was these other songs with these other chords that were so out there. These extensions, as I found out they were called. They're color notes to these chords. The first 4 notes, the first, the third, the fifth, and the seventh, those are functional notes. They do things with the chords. They have to be a certain way for the chord to have that sound. But then I learned extensions, all they are is if you keep jumping. First, third, fifth, seventh, ninth. Because there's 7 notes, 8 is the same as 1, right? We jump that, we go to the second degree of the scale. But we're going to call it ninth as we go here. Now, the ninth, skip again, 11th, skip again, 13th. These notes are very, very far away from that very first strongest note. They aren't functional notes. These are decoration. They're ornamental. Now, they can lead into different places. They can cause tension. You can manipulate them, but they're color notes. They don't change the fact that it's like a 2 chord to 5 chord to a 1 chord. They're not functional. But that cool chord you never thought you'd be able to play, much less figure out, is doable once you relate it to the scale, to the diatonic scale. When I did try to analyze these chords, it didn't make sense to my triad and my seventh chord thinking. And with a little bit of taking a look at the scale that it was built from, things really made sense. Hey, thanks for watching. I've got something for you. It's my free practice routine mini course. It's called Get Moving Guitar, and you can get it by clicking the link below in the description. If you would like to support the podcast and get more of this content that's actually designed to help you become the guitarist that you always wanted to be, sign up for my VIP supporter program. For as little as $3 a month, you get access to my private VIP podcast. And I will see you soon in the next video.